Welcome to the Drag Me to the Movies podcast. My name is Joe.
I'm Ned.
And in this episode, we're going to talk about Akira, or Akira is what I called it before I watched the movie, from 1988, directed by Katsuhiro Otomo. Sure, I'm going to hope that I did that right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Ned and I watched the English dub, so top cast for that is Johnny Young Bosch as Kaneda, Joshua Seth as Tetsuo, Wendy Lee as Kai. Was it Kai? Is that the girl's name?
I'm pretty
I'm trying to
sure
remember.
that's
Was
how
it
they said
Key?
it.
I think it's
Yeah.
how they said Kai. Yeah. Sandy Fox is Kyoko. Jameson Price is the Colonel. And Cody McKenzie as Takashi. And plenty more.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is a film neither of us have watched,
Right.
and we both went into this fresh. So Ned, what did you think about Akira?
So I guess, overall I enjoyed it. Um there's definitely a lot going on here, and it's, based off of manga. And funny enough, the director is the person that created the manga as well. So that was kind of interesting to find out.
Oh, that's good to know.
And also something that was kind of interesting is, they did the manga originally back in like 1982 is when it started. He didn't finish the story in the manga until after the movie was finished. So that's also kind of a interesting thing. Might be worth seeking out the manga and checking it out.
Well, do you think that the manga went farther than what the movie did? Because the the movie kind of leaves it where there could be more, you know?
I think he took lessons learned from the movie and continued the manga and finished it
Oh,
based
interesting.
on
So this
that.
is a George R. R. Martin
Kind of, yeah,
scenario.
yeah. I was definitely
Interesting.
getting some of those parallels as well. But yeah, in general, this is a post World War III, 2019. So kind of interesting. I mean, for me, like as soon as I saw kind of the art style and stuff in here, I was like, okay, this has definitely influenced a lot of the content that I've seen elsewhere. And obviously, this has drawn some inspiration from other things as well, like um, you know, Blade Runner #1 would probably be a good source of
Hmm.
inspiration for this movie. Um, just cyberpunk stuff in general, and kind of the Neo Tokyo thing, which for me, I'm a huge Batman the Animated Series fan, and seeing this, I'm like, okay, I can definitely see where they've borrowed a lot for at least the animation and some tributes. Like there's the scene in here that's very popular where, it's probably the thing I knew only about the movie before seeing it was the bike slide that he does sideways.
Yeah. Yep.
There's
Same.
a shot in the animated series where Robin does the exact same thing. So that's a little bit of a tribute. And then in Mask of the Phantasm, I don't know if you remember this, there's the part where Bruce Wayne, not in Batman form, ends up running straight at a guy on a bike, hopping up over the wheel and kneeing him in the head.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
happens here as well. So definitely inspirational from there. And then I don't know if you've ever seen Batman Beyond, but holy hell, that borrowed a lot from this. Like the whole biker gangs thing, the Jokers, clowns in this case.
Hmm.
So just seeing all of that stuff and how it's influenced other things, I'm like, okay, this is interesting to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So I agree. Like, um, I didn't necessarily pull the parallels from like Batman or anything like that, but now that you call them out, I see what you mean. But I did know a lot about the whole bike sliding thing, and I expected actually kind of I won't say let down, but I guess I wasn't in a way when that scene happens,
Mm-hmm.
and that I thought it was going to be more pivotal than what it was,
Right,
because
right.
it's just a cool scene and that's it, right? Like
The opening
it
scene,
doesn't really. What's that?
essentially. It's pretty much the opening scene.
Right. Right. And like, yeah, to your point, like I've seen like Family Guy make jokes about it. I've seen I'm trying to think other pop culture, but I know I've seen that bike slide so many times and people calling out to Akira or Akira, however you say it. I'm not
Just
Japanese. It
say it.
hurts for me to say it. Akira. Um, so yeah, I mean it's really cool. Even like I've seen in others with the taillights trailing as
Yes.
well,
Yep.
which they use a lot in here. So yeah, the art style is very cool. To your point, very Japanese, very anime.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think they did a great job with the Neo Tokyo vibe and the cyberpunk vibe overall.
Yeah. But it also did like a very good job of like representing a post-apocalyptic world where everything is pretty much shit.
Yeah,
uh Everything's in ruins. People are just down bad on a lot of different things, and you know,
right.
the politics and stuff is definitely not great. The policing isn't great. Like there's a lot of crap. I mean, the fact that you have
There's
essentially high
yeah,
schoolers as biker gangs.
right. There's a lot of I don't know what the word is for it, but a lot of classist
Hmm.
things that happen as well, right? Like the impoverish or being put down by the government, and the rich are the ones basically leading the government and manipulating it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not, I mean, I guess I didn't know what to expect of this film going into it, not
Yeah.
having seen
Hmm.
it. Um and yeah, they it definitely threw a story at me I was not prepared for.
Yeah, I would agree. But you know, this is also one of the movies that you kind of a reminder, like 1988. That's also the same year My Neighbor Totoro came out too.
Right.
So, you know, this movie is credited as one of the ones that kind of introduced the West to animation. So, United States and other,
Mhm.
which at the time, you know, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, they just didn't see this doing well with the US. But it definitely inspired a lot of things that came shortly thereafter. And animation stuff was just taking off. Uh, and it was very cool to see something like this where they weren't necessarily targeting kids as an audience. And it was definitely a lot
No, not at
more
all.
mature content. It had like body gore and all types of like more obviously adult oriented content in it.
Yep.
So
Yeah, what kind of, I guess, kind of reminded me a little bit is a little bit of how, like, I don't know if you ever seen it, but the movie Heavy Metal
I
from the
have.
80s.
Well, it's been
Okay. Kind of,
many years.
yeah, it's the same for me, but that, I mean, that was kind of another thing. It was cartoon but heavily adult themed.
Yes.
I mean, they're drastically different movies, but I don't want to compare them that closely, uh but it definitely like covers a lot of the same stuff of, like, sexuality, sexual assault in some cases,
Hmm.
murder, graphic murder. So yeah, to your point, it's definitely not a kids film by any
No,
means.
definitely not one I'd be showing to my kids.
Good
So yeah.
point.
Um, Other than that, like the story mostly focuses around Tetsuo for me. Like he's pretty much the only interesting character out
Yeah,
of
I feel like the movie wants Kaneda to be the lead, but it's definitely Tetsuo. I feel
yeah.
like I feel like he's the one that takes the lead because it definitely starts off as Kaneda. Um, and I'm not sure if it's intended to keep that the whole way because he is a major part, but
Hmm.
really without Tetsuo, there is no movie.
Right. I don't know. Like and even with Tetsuo, like this story I felt was interesting enough for me to watch it. I do question whether or not I would go back and rewatch it, and if so, how often. Like I do feel I need to at least watch it one more time to kind of gauge some things. Unfortunately, I did not get another chance before recording, but
Yeah,
um,
I wrote a similar note down that I need to watch this again.
yeah. So I might give it another year and then try to revisit it and see where it sits for me. But in general, like it's an interesting thing, especially like obviously they didn't really touch upon like World War III details, but obviously Akira kind of ended World War III, and then this is the aftermath
Yeah,
of that.
right. And you don't really understand what Akira did or like how it played in.
Mhm.
That's really, I think, why I want to do a second watch, is just that they pack a lot of storylines, I feel like, in this
Yes,
film.
yes.
And I don't know that they go into any of them in super great detail. You know, there's a lot of jumps, I guess, and leaps of faith of what's
Mhm.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's one of the reasons I really want to go back and watch this, just to see if there's stuff that I missed or any context clues or whatever.
And that's kind of one of the things, like, I almost question whether it'd be worth checking out the manga, to see the story from that point of view.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, you know, Otomo, is that Otomo? Yeah, whatever. The director, um,
Hmm.
who also wrote the graphic manga, they did all the storyboards for this. Like the entire movie he did in storyboard. I don't know if you're familiar with that process at all.
With storyboarding,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm somewhat familiar. I'm not intimately familiar, but I kind of get the gist of it.
Yeah. But he essentially put pretty much every scene into a storyboard. And that's actually how he edited the movie to determine what would stay and what would go.
Hmm,
So he's like, I put the effort into that because he knew what the value would be later on to actually have that as a reference. So that's
interesting.
just kind of insane to me to kind of go through that, but obviously it paid off. And like, there's some other details I can kind of get into from what this movie is and how it was made and stuff like that, which I'll do. But it's just,
Yeah,
even with that, the movie just jumps around a little bit too much for me and has a lot of things that I'm just like, I don't know. And that's
yeah.
again, like
No,
I get hung up on some of it, and I feel like I really do need to go back and give this another chance just to make sure it's not me not fully comprehending what he was going for.
right, right. There, like I said, there's a lot of stories going on, and it's hard to really understand. Like, you know, we're talking about the government experiments that are doing on those children, right, to
Hmm.
make them look like old fogies. There's the side of that where there's that power reading that the scientist is watching.
Hmm.
I don't know if you picked up on what that's supposed to be, but to me, that was just some random gauge that they kept showing and made a
So
big deal out of it. I didn't
from
quite really follow what they were going with there.
from what my understanding was, is that was kind of a reading of Tetsuo showing that he's kind of the opposite of Akira.
Okay.
And, you know, for whatever reasons, maybe they cancel each other out. I don't know, but that's kind of what I got from that.
Okay. See, I originally thought that that was their gauge to see how powerful Tetsuo was.
Yes. And I
Um,
think that is kind of what that was meant to be, but in an opposite of Akira, if that
okay.
makes sense.
See,
Because
I
Akira
didn't
was
catch that
obviously
part, but
very
that makes
powerful.
sense.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, powerful enough to be put piece by piece in jars and then reform
Right.
later in the movie. But yeah, they have the kids that are, you know, powerful as well. They have their powers. But you don't really understand like why they look the way they do, what the powers are exactly that they have. You know, it seems like there's telekinesis there, but then
Hmm.
there's like the ability to vanish. There's like the ability to like get into people's minds.
Yeah. I don't know
There's
if it
the
was,
telepathic stuff.
I was debating the vanishing thing, or is it more of the mind control and then pushing that they're not there?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. And
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like there's a lot there that you don't quite understand.
Yeah.
Um, you know, there's the council that's running the government and all of those characters, and you only really meet one of them. Well, I guess two of them, right? The colonel and that rich guy who's kind
Hmm.
of running the usurpers,
Right.
or the rebels, I guess. And you don't really know much about him either, other than later on that he's kind of trying to keep the people down for his own greed, you know, kind of thing. Um, you know, there's the high school gang and the bar that they go to, and you don't really understand what's going on in the bar.
Hmm.
You don't really understand who's all in the gang and why. Like, you know, in the later half, there's what was that guy's name? Is it Takashi? Was he the
Yeah.
one that
I,
was there at the end? I don't remember, but like he all of a sudden was kind of a main-ish character, that plays in. Um, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff there. It's just it doesn't really delve into any of it.
Yeah,
Enough to really give you much to bite off.
right.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
And that's kind of one of the things is like there really wasn't a character here that I got attached to. And even with the like opening bar scene, like there's the little thing where like the guy comes down, is like, "Hey, we gotta go." And so they go get on the bikes, and then all of a sudden there's like other people on bikes showing up to help them take on the clown gang of bikers or
right.
whatever. It's just like, what the hell's going on?
Yep.
And then even the guy that like is trying to get the little boy away, like,
Right.
was he someone that worked at the lab and is trying to free him? Like they're being captive? Like it was just kind of
Right. They didn't
random
seem
and
so they didn't seem so bad with the colonel. You know what I
no.
mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I didn't quite understand that either. Like, why was this guy helping him escape?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's yeah. Again, maybe it's if we read the manga, we would know more.
Yeah, potentially.
Um, so one thing I want to call out too, Ned, that I struggled with at times
Hmm.
is the design of the characters. In some cases, I don't think we're different enough. Um, like I quite often like Kai and Kanada, I had trouble differentiating between the two at times because they had the same black haircut.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
Like at the end, she's wearing his jacket, Kanada's
Hmm.
pill jacket, and I thought it was Kanada. And I'm like, what? Like what is going on here? Until they started talking, and then I'm like, okay, now I know it's different. But like a lot of like black hair spiky down, I feel like was utilized in this film.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I don't know if that's just the director's art style or whatever. But yeah, I struggled
Well,
with that at times as well.
even the colonel and the one other guys, like they had very similar mustaches and stuff. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, there was even another rebel alongside that dude that had a mustache,
Yeah.
and they were pretty close.
Yep. So yeah, I definitely admit that there's like some things I could see be improved. But overall, like I felt the art and the way it was drawn and like, you know, structurally speaking, they did some pretty cool things. Like movie did incorporate some CGI, primarily when you were talking about those like wave things that they were reading.
Mhm.
Um, it also has some unique things they did with animation, which I'll get into now. Um, they primarily tried to focus this as a 24 frames per second movie. So that's why it's
Okay.
kind of like got smooth motion and stuff. There's a few cases where they went down to like 12 FPS, but in general, they made this very film oriented in mind. And they even had some other cases where they did a lot more than 24 frames per second to illustrate the slow mo moments. So the fact that this incorporated that type of art and stuff worked into it is kind of crazy. Another thing that was kind of a little different at the time was they had all the actors do the recordings prior to the animations happening. So the animators were matching it to a live action audio
Oh,
performance.
interesting.
So they were able to have the lips and everything match exactly what was being said. So they did an excellent job with that. So that's another thing I want to go back and watch it again just to see how much it jives, you know?
Well, did they match the American voice or the Japanese though?
Japanese. Like this first came out as Japanese.
Yeah, so I don't know if you would notice it in the version we
Well,
watched.
I think I would probably go back and watch it with the English subtitles.
Oh, okay.
So that's just, I think, some really cool things that they did. And obviously, what they did influenced a lot of other future animations. And I respect the movie for that alone.
Mhm. Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I think other than, some great animation, some little fun facts that I picked up about this movie, like overall, as I said, I enjoyed it. But I don't know if I fully appreciate it as much as other people tend to hype it up. I don't know if you would agree with that.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is different enough to get that following.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? So I won't say that it doesn't deserve the attention it gets. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like this was cool. This is a fun ride for me, but I don't know if this is like a Joe goes back and watches this all the time kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. It's definitely a
I
movie
mean,
I feel you need to at least see once.
right, right. There's definitely scenes that are kind of badass. You know, when I think of some films where it's like, man, I really want to go back and watch them. Like I just rewatched 300
Mhm.
a couple days ago just because I was like, man, it's such a badass movie and I want to watch it again.
Sure is.
And you know, there's scenes in this that are like, wow, that's super badass. Like that dude running around with that little old kid and getting shot up
Mhm.
by the government. Like that was a badass scene of him just getting like lit up. There's some badass scenes of like that satellite laser going off and blowing things up, like that
Mhm.
blue
Yep.
haze, and then it like that was cool as hell. The scene of them in the sewers where the hover bikes are chasing them and how they're fighting them off. That was cool as hell. Like there's definitely parts of this film that are like, wow, this is cool.
Mhm.
But I don't know that it's well enough tied together for me all overall to keep my attention again. Um, but again, I want to watch it again and come back with a another, I guess, take on it and whether I would watch it again or not after that.
Yeah, for sure. That's
So
the
maybe
same
we
boat
both
I'm
do
in.
that at some
Yeah.
point and kind of post something to give everybody an update.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I did write down a few times in this film that like overall this almost felt like a fever dream movie in a way.
Yeah. I would
Uh
definitely agree with that.
you know, there's a lot of stuff that happens in here where it's just like wow, like what the hell, you know? Um Specifically like Tetsuo when he's in the hospital, you know, and the toys start coming alive.
Yeah.
Like that's a fever dream when he starts like losing control of his powers and becomes this like gelatinous blob of organs and tentacles and like that was creepy as hell.
Mhm.
There's a lot of just weird stuff that happens in here. Um that again I wasn't expecting. You know, when you start a film off with post World War III, bike gangs, stuff like that, you don't expect this like mystical, I guess, side of it. Or whatever you'd call it. I don't know. I'm going mystical because there's like this power that's happening that nobody seems to you know much about.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, it definitely took some hard right turns that I wasn't ready for. Um, Kind of kept me on my toes. As far as runtime, Ned, did this feel like a long movie to you, or did it seem like the time passed pretty quick?
It felt a bit long to me.
Yeah, I went back and forth. Like, it, I think it drug a little bit with the whole Tetsuo in the hospital, out of the hospital. Like that happens a couple times. Like
Mhm.
that kind of drug to me. Some of the stuff with Kaneda and Kai and her rebel friends kind of felt like it drug on a little bit. Some of the high school shenanigan stuff kind of drug on. Um, but overall, I feel like it was a little bit of a start and stop for me. You know, like it.
Yeah.
There was times where you know, time flew, and then there was times where I could feel it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed the part where like Canada was using that like gun or whatever and fighting Tetsuo.
Yeah,
And then
that
the
was very
battery
cool.
runs dead. Like, yeah. It's like, oh, he got him. Nope, nope, nope.
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, I don't think I really have too much other than like, the music in this was kind of like a traditional Japanese blend with synth.
Yep, yep.
Um,
That's what I have it down to is like 80s Japanese.
yeah,
Yep.
and I think it worked well. So yeah, I mean, I had fun with it, but it definitely is not something I would typically seek out.
Right. Same here. Same
But
here. Like
I
I. Oh,
go ahead.
good. Well, I was just gonna say, like I enjoy a good anime, and I feel like this fit that vibe for me. Is this was a good anime to kind of watch and move on from. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So yeah, I'm not upset that I watched this by any means. Like
No, no,
this was
neither am I.
worthwhile. I'm glad I have it under my belt now.
Yeah, plus the fact that like what this did for other animation like Batman the Animated Series, which is one of my favorite animated series. So
Right.
yeah, just for that alone, um, I really appreciate what this did.
Agreed.
Yeah. So are you ready to score it then?
Yeah, let's score it. I guess I'll give mine. I landed a 3.5 out of 5 on this one.
I am
Um,
also at a 3.5 out of 5.
nice. Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us aligning our scores ourselves.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I couldn't go any higher. But
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I originally I typically when I watch movies for the podcast, I'll like ask myself if I'm enjoying it, like usually like in the first third, the second third, and then the last like part.
mhm,
And with there's parts with Akira that I felt it was a 4 and then it dipped down to a 3 and then so I think it's a good average of 3.5. You know, like the highs are high in this, but the lows are low in this as well, in my opinion.
yeah, I would tend to agree.
Cool.
Ooh. All
All right.
right.
Well,
Well, next recommendations, maybe?
yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna take it back a little bit. Um, the movie Taxi Driver. Are you familiar with it?
I am not. Is De Niro in this?
Yes.
Okay, then I mean I don't still don't know what it's about. I just remember that De Niro is related to this film.
All right. I mean,
So
are you
I
familiar
imagine
with
there's a
any
taxi
like
driver in it too.
quotes and things at all, or anything like that?
What was that part?
The quotes or anything from it that you
No.
may have seen
I mean,
elsewhere?
I might be. I just don't know that they're related to Taxi Driver.
Okay. I have a feeling you're gonna be a little bit surprised on some of those, at least.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up this episode. Be sure to check us
Well,
out on
what do
the
we got going
what
on for an extra?
what?
What do we got going on for an extra next episode?
So we have a conversation around animations that are for adults, adult
Awesome.
cartoons, not pornographic ones, but
Right?
well, mostly, at least not on my list.
Ned's got a whole list of pornographic cartoons we're going to talk about.
No, no,
Can't
I do
wait.
not.
Get your notebooks out, kids.
Yeah, for ones that aren't pornographic. Anyway, be sure to check us out on Threads and Facebook at To The Movies Pod, and we are also now on YouTube at The Movies Pod. So check us out, drop a comment, say hello, let us know what you think. If you want to have us watch a movie, if you have an idea for an extra, let us know.
Yeah, and as always, on our YouTube, please subscribe, comment, all that jazz on your podcast apps. Give us a score, give us a rank, let us know how we're doing. And now, awkward silence.
I was going to let you end it. Started it.
Oh, okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for joining. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.